Good evening, folks. Welcome back to our doubleheader. We went live yesterday with the I wanted to say honorable, but he is honorable.
He is
The
honorable,
legendary man himself, Brian McFarlane, in the Canadian sportscasting and broadcasting industry. He is definitely made a name for himself. It was a bucket list moment for me. As you can tell from the interview, I got all like tickled pink and talking about Peter Puck and our hockey heroes. And, it was just a really good story. Makes me want to have him on again. So we'll do that in the near future when he releases his new books or whatever his projects are. However, tonight we're going to go from hockey to baseball. And this is Kent's forte. So I'm going to let Kent kick it off from here.
All right. So welcome everybody to episode number 46. For tonight's guest, we are pleased to introduce you to a hobby veteran from the Pacific Northwest who collects Ichiro, Andrew Benetendi, Robinson Cano, Jay Up, and Darius Bazley, just to name a few. So please welcome Tony Yee to the show.
Hey guys. Hey,
Tony.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you for being our guest for tonight. Yeah. So Tony, can you give us a little bit of a background info on how old you were when you got into card collecting? And was it like another family member, or was it through sports? Like, how did the collecting bug start for you?
It started just like almost everyone. I started off as a kid getting baseball cards, 88, 89, when my parents bought me packs at the grocery store. And I had them. I collected for a couple years. And of course, a lot of us just kind of just grew out of it, got into like video games and all that jazz, and school and all that stuff came up. And I was away from it for how long? 20 plus years. I just never collected, never thought about it. And I was still a huge sports fan, baseball fan, but I never got back into it until about 2010, 2011 is when I started getting slowly back in the hobby.
Hey, I have to ask you, because I saw in one of your posts, do you still have your Genesis?
I do. It's at my parents' house. I have a Sega Genesis at my parents' house.
So do I. I was always playing Street Fighter on it.
Not only do I have a Genesis, I have the 32X and the Sega CD attachment on there too.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have to bust out some Biggie Smalls soon.
Yeah.
I had a Super Nintendo, so I complete the...
Oh, you're the Nintendo guy. It's usually like you're a Genesis or a Super Nintendo.
Or if you're like Biggie Smalls, you had both.
So Tony, can you share with our audience as to why you settled on collecting like the likes of Ichiro, Benetendi, Cano? Why in particular those three players per se that stood out for you?
I was a fan of Ichiro since the beginning. So I was a fan of his since 2001 when he came to the Mariners. Obviously, it was a big deal in the major leagues to have an international Asian player come as a position player in MLB. So that was a big deal. Like, there was so much skepticism back then. I don't know if you remember, but they're like, he's like 5'9", 100 and nothing. Like, he's not going to make it. He doesn't have the build for.
He's too skinny.
Yes. Just he's like it's good for Japanese, but not for American major leagues. But so yeah, there's a lot of skepticism. But I was excited because he went to the Mariners. I'm from Seattle, born and raised, so I was super excited. So I followed him from the very beginning. So he was definitely like just a given. Like I enjoyed him. He was such a humble, terrific player, obviously. So he was my number one guy. And my other PC players, after I started collecting, just like everyone who just starts, you start dabbling into a lot of different players, trying to see what you like. Like, do I want to be a set collector or collect everyone or collect Mariners? Like, there's infinite amount of ways you can collect. But I decided to stick with simply Ichiro. But around 2013, 2014, I wanted to pick up another player just to have a fun other project. So I started collecting Robinson Cano, and that was before he came to the Mariners. I loved his swag. He was just such a cool player to watch. He did everything so effortlessly. Like, when you see him throwing, he doesn't even like turn his body, just chucks balls. I just love that. I loved the way he played. It was just fun for me. So when he came to the Mariners, I went even more aggressive in being a collector of him. And Other PC players, Upton, kind of. I was following Upton in the beginning of his career because I think he was a #1 draft pick, I believe, with the Diamondbacks. So I thought he was a really good player, kind of under the radar. So I was like, I want to collect someone who's maybe more cost effective because Cano at the time was a little pricey. Ichiro was always pricey. So I was like, let me get another player I can, just have fun collecting. So I collected Upton. From there, then in 2017, I began collecting Benetendi because I wanted to. All the players I was collecting, they were aging. They were going to be retired, getting to the low to mid 30s. I was like, okay, let me find one player who's kind of be like a fun. I don't prospect. I don't do that game. I know a lot of people do, and that's cool, but that's just not how I do it. But I was like, let me just try one player who I think is pretty good and it might be a fun player to collect. So I was looking up, stats, looking at their bios, looking at just the players out there. And at the time, it was between him and Cody Bellinger. I was like, I'm going to go hard on one of these two players. They were both pretty hot at the time, but I decided on Benetendi primarily because Bellinger was too expensive. His prices.
That he was up there already at that point.
Yeah, very up there. So, and plus I pulled a green holiday rookie card of Benintendi, so that kind of sparked my desire to start and collect them too. So that kind of got the itch on him.
Nice.
So did you? So one thing about Ichiro, after we talked a few days ago, or sorry, yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
No, it was a couple of days ago.
A couple days ago,
I think it was Monday or Sunday. Oh, it was a crazy Bills game. So it was.
Oh yeah. I don't want.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up again.
That was probably one of the greatest football games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And, just for everyone's enjoyment, my wife was working out that night, and I only have on TV, and I literally had to watch it on Kent's TV through StreamYard. So thank you to Kent.
No problem.
Awful way to watch it, but at least I got to watch. So thanks, Kent. I was thinking back on our talk a while ago, or a couple days ago, and I'm thinking about do you like Cleveland? Do you have any fascination with the city of Cleveland?
Cleveland? Are you talking about the rat in the sock thing?
No, I'm talking about Ichiro's famous quotes, and one of his.
Oh, you mean like he'd rather be punched in the face than?
Yes.
Yes. The Kansas City was the one with the rat in a sock.
Yeah.
He had something about so hot it's like being a rat in a sock or something. But yes, Cleveland that was hilarious. I have actually a book here full of his funny quotes and stuff.
I would love to get it.
Is there actually such a book? I didn't even know there was such a book. No kidding.
Yeah, I have a couple of books about him, and he has a lot of cool quotes in there. Yeah,
I would if I ever wanted to get something signed by him, I would want to get a Cleveland something with his signature on it, with that quote. I would get that quote. Anyways, I thought it was a cool thing, and he's really known for his quotes. So, speaking of Ichiro, how many Mariners games did you get to see him play?
I've seen a few, not a ton. I actually saw more when he was actually with the Marlins and Yankees, believe it or not. I didn't go too many games when he was a Mariner. I think I probably took that for granted when he was in Seattle, and we had a string of continuously terrible seasons. So, but I've only seen a few in the Mariners, but I've seen quite a few when he was on the Marlins and Yankees.
To me, not being a huge baseball fan, Griffey was gone by the time Ichiro came, yeah?
2001. I think that was near his exit. I think he was with the Reds at that time.
Was it the Reds? So they never got the cross pass. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to a few people here. Dennis comes every show. Thank you,
Dennis.
For joining.
Hello.
We have a new viewer here. Probably all your fault, Tony. I'm kidding. KBO Collective.
That's What's George. Up, he's a great guy. He has a very fun YouTube channel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He lives in Korea, so.
No kidding.
Korean baseball stuff. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll have to reach out to you.
Reach out to him. You'll be a good person to talk to.
For sure.
Okay. You're blowing it, George.
I don't know what's happening here. I should have read this before I put it on screen, but I'm not going to read this one because I had no idea what this had to do with anything.
I don't know either.
We'll leave that one alone. And then we got trolls. Let me just get rid of this person. Okay, let me go back to my question. So you said you didn't get a chance to see many Mariners games with him in it because you took it for granted that he was there. but it's kind of like akin to when your best friend moves out of town and you go visit them more times than you hung out with them when you was in town. I know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Last year, you would have acquired a fairly rare short printed Ichiro rookie card. That's a 2001 top employee set. So for those of you who follow hockey, like the upper deck set, this is the employee set that Topps had. Now, even though it was a low grade, you're still pretty happy to have it. So why don't you share with us and the audience how rare this card is, how you came about finding it, and how it came to your possession?
Yeah, it's one of the rarest Ichiro cards out there. I believe there's no stated print run, but I think it's about 150.
Wow.
It came in a sealed like employee set that was like exclusively for Topps employees, and it was known for its bricking, where they just basically all stuck together, and that's why you have so many poor condition ones. There are a few good condition ones. I know a fellow Ichiro collector who has a PSA 8 of that, so which is absolutely amazing. So that's probably one of the grails to have. But that card popped up on the PWCC auction, and that's where I found it.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was kind of like freaking out about that. And I was actually talked to a couple of my Ichiro collector friends and like, hey, you looking for this? You gonna go after this? And thankfully none of them did. So I got it at a really, really, really good price. So I was very happy to get it. Unfortunately, I don't have it now because I have a lot of cards in the PWCC vault. So it's there right now because you actually have to pay a fee to take it out. So it's safely in that vault. So I'm eventually going to get it mailed home. But a card like that, you know, when you're looking for like personal grail cards,
Sure.
I don't care about grade. Like that thing could be bent in half. It's just something I really wanted in my collection. So I like the look of it in the PSA slab, so I think it looks good in there, no matter how bad it looks. It's definitely a card that I've never actually seen it for sale ever. I've only seen my friend Ray. I collect Ichiro. He's a massive Ichiro collector on IG and Twitter. He had that card. He has that card, so I was kind of envious of his. So yeah.
So, Tony, is there anything that's distinguishable on the employee one versus the regular base?
Yeah,
set?
it's stamped on the bottom right. It's like an
Oh.
imprint. So you have to like angle it to actually see it. If you look at it straightforward, you can't even see where it is. There's like an employee set stamp.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I believe your friend, this is KBO, his name is George. Yes, that's his name. So he clarified. So that quote that you saw here was from a book of Ichiro quotes. So he actually.
Oh, was it?
Yes, I was just hoping it wasn't like, you know, keyboard.
Okay, I must have skipped over that one or forgot about it. Yeah, I didn't see
so, well, I'll be honest with you, George. I wasn't sure how to take your comment there, and I didn't know about it, so I got concerned, and I didn't want to bring it up on screen. But now that you defended it, I feel bad. So I didn't show it earlier. So Ichiro was saying when Chan Ho Park was talking to reporters, Ichiro told him that. He also says, I don't know what this was referenced to. Probably there was a setup for auction that day, probably a big brick spot you were just talking about.
Yeah, I think that they're selling a sealed one on like eBay.
Oh,
and Eric Sanderson to Orr.
Hey, Eric.
Ichiro is the only player of his generation that actually deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Rest cheating should never be allowed in. Hey, well, today Clemens didn't get in, and neither did Bonds, but they let David Ortiz in, who's got a bit of controversy. So
yeah,
himself. I mean, maybe Ortiz is a stepping stone before they let the rest in. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So let me go back to my questions here. Okay. So actually, speaking of quotes, it'd be interesting, like if you got a bunch of inscribed on a card. Actually, does he have any inscribed cards in his collection?
I don't think he has many. He has recently because he has an exclusive deal with Mill Creek Sports Cards where he's been signing like 01 MVP, ROY, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. So he has those like after the fact. I don't think he has very many or any at all of like factory issued inscriptions.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any inscribed ones from like Topps or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And Eric is saying Ortiz should have been left out, and I'm from Boston. Okay, I'm not going to stir up any controversy today. And just for the record, hockey's my thing, so I'm not going to get into it. And I do have one question regarding Ichiro, and it just popped in my head, and you may talk about this later in one of our questions, but Was it Daisuke Matsuzaka had the Japanese lettering on a version of his rookie card? Did Ichiro have that at all?
Like the kanji version?
Yeah, kanji version. Did Ichiro ever have one?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he does.
Okay. That would have been interesting. Probably that wasn't the thing to do back then.
I don't think I've seen one. I think, I don't think so.
For your PC, do you collect mostly established stars, rookies, or a mixture of both?
I think it's a mixture of both from what I talked about earlier. It's, Ichiro's obviously the biggest star, I believe, and Cano is, middling, all-star, controversy and all that bad stuff, but I'm still a fan of his. So he's definitely, a multi-all-star. Upton's a, kind of like a semi-star. Benetendi is kind of working his way up. We don't know yet, but he had a really good bounce back season with Kansas City this year. So I'm hoping he becomes.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
Hoping he becomes an all-star eventually. And so I usually go with people I try to at least feel like I can root for them and have some kind of connection with them, and more of that than actual, like, I think they're going to be a GOAT or any kind of monetary value. That's like the last thing I think about when I collect the people I want to. It's more about how I feel like they're, good, fun players.
Yeah, you have a vested interest in the happiness, right? So that's key.
Yeah.
So George is chatting a lot tonight. That's good. So thank you, George, for giving us a sub. Yes.
Thank you, George.
Much appreciated. We're trying to grow our channel. So Kent and I have a selfish goal of doubling our subscribership this year. So please spread the word. We're all talking about hobby goodness and diversity, inclusivity in the hobby. Obviously, like, we want to talk about to hobby collectors like Tony. So I want to bring stories that you don't hear otherwise. And George is still going. Let's see what he says now. I sent an Ichiro rookie card to a grading company here in Korea, especially to come back a 5, maybe a 6. I'm cool with that. There are grading companies in Korea. Okay, we got to bring this guy on.
He's got a lot of good stories being in Korea. So yeah, he went over that. I think he has a video about it. I haven't watched it yet, but he does.
I agree, Eric. I agree. But yeah, I definitely. Okay, Kent, we're gonna have to. George, we'll be contacting you because you already piqued my interest. So I'm gonna, because this is the baseball episode, and I realigned the questions. Most of them are with Kent because yesterday, just so you know, Tony, I hogged the mic for most of the night. I'm gonna make sure I pay it forward. So go ahead, buddy.
So Tony, you also have a theme, PC themed, called the Flying Catch Collection. Can you share with us what that is?
Yeah, it's basically my favorite baseball card of all time is the 2012 Topps Chrome, Topps Mini, photo of Ichiro basically flying in the air, catching the ball. It's one of my favorite photos, and that was like right when I was starting to really get into collecting around 2012. So I just always remember that image and always thought about how cool of a card this was. So I was like, I'm gonna collect as many of these as I can. I just love this card. It's such a cool looking card. So I've been collecting that since 2012. So 9 years now. 10 years I've been actively collecting that. So I got basically almost every single parallel possible except for the Superfractor that sold about 6 months after release of 2012. Someone bought it for like $350, and that's before I got really into auctions and understanding and looking at things. So obviously I'm kicking myself because I'll likely never see that card ever. It's probably another Ichiro's collection deep in their safe, and I'll probably never see it, but I look for it every day on eBay, but I'm pretty certain I won't see it. So
it's funny how $350 doesn't seem like a lot anymore, eh?
Yeah,
it's true.
Not even close right now for that. So I didn't really like consider it a titled collection until 2019 when Benintendi, when I was already established getting a PC for him. Then his 2019, I think Series 2 card came out, and it's basically the same picture. So I was like, hey, what the heck? This is my favorite card of all time, and my second favorite player has the same card. So here's a example. So here's some golds. This is the gold Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
I have like 7 of these. I have a couple at PSA right now, but that's the picture you can see. And this is I have a ton of these too. This is a Topps Archive 101 auto of
Oh, the catch.
Benetendi.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically the same card.
Yeah, nice.
And so it's the same. My 2 favorite players, same card. I have up there is the Fanatics 8x10 photo of Benetendi the Flying Catch.
Yeah.
And you can't see it, but I have Ichiro autographs, photos, and frames on the other side of my man cave. And I have the Ichiro version, JSA certified 8x10 with the Flying Catch. And I have oversized cards on my door. It's maybe unhealthy, but I just love the card and I love the picture of it. So I have basically almost every variation of Benetendis as well. I'm looking for. There's one that is a massive Boston Red Sox collector on Twitter who outbid me on the Superfractor Auto of the Benetendi. So he has that, and I will never see that. So
your background is amazing. So I have a huge amount of respect for people who show off their stuff. I mean, I got stuff like boxes and sheets. Yours is like super chic. So you're giving me some inspiration to try new stuff. Man.
Thanks. It's basic. It's cheap IKEA shelves and regular stands, and I use like white card boxes, and I have Funkos all on the bottom shelves too. My favorite Funkos. So
you never know it was IKEA, though. I tell you that.
Yeah,
looks like $1 million, though, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just I try to keep it like I got OCD, so I try to keep it nice and even and all that stuff. As you can see on the photos on the top, because I have the Benetendi, Cano, and Justin Upton autos, but I put pieces of cards taped onto it with blue tape to protect the autos because I'm just paranoid.
Oh, smart.
Very smart. Yeah. So, you can get UV coating, right?
Yeah. I had the blinds closed, but I just get paranoid. Like all these Ichiro autos, and there's a bunch of cards on it, so it looks ugly, but I don't care.
Interesting.
I feel more comfortable. It's like putting plastic on your new couch at home.
Hey,
can't really enjoy it, but it stays clean.
Hey, I used to know a guy that actually put his remote in bubble wrap. So
I do know. Yeah, I know someone that did that as well.
Don't go that far, but
yeah.
So Tony, how many different variations of the Flying Catch of the Benintendi and Ichiro do you have?
Oh, sheesh. Ton, probably like 30 plus at least. I have,
that many different variations?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's a ton. There's actually, because the thing is there in the Ichiro one, there he's in the Topps Mini, Topps Base, and Topps Chrome. And there's also some inserts that has them in there as well. So you got to think about it's in like 4 different sets. And same with Benetendi, he's in Topps Mini, Topps Chrome, the Topps Base. So you have all those parallels within those. So it's because they use the same photo for like a lot of it. So a ton to chase. So I got the majority of them. I'm not like losing sleep over it. It just if I ever find a cool one, I'll grab it. Yeah.
Awesome. I hope you find more.
Yeah, thank you.
So you do a fair share of grading submissions, and I believe majority of the time it's with PSA. So for you, why is having graded cards in your PC more preferable versus, say, like raw cards?
I wouldn't say it's preferable. I would say it just it depends on the card. It depends on the condition.
Mm-hmm.
For me, grading is, I'd say a majority of the things I grade are things that I've bought in either sets or blasters or packs or bought lots at card shows. And then I look over them and then I send them out to grading if I think they look good. Then I use that to kind of fund my PC by consigning those out. And I also do a little bit of my PC as well, not a ton, but I do that for more of the visual of it. I think they look great. I think they're like, mini frames. Like for instance, like someone would be like, why the heck would you grade this? It's a foil Safeco Field PSA card. It's like, why would you grade that? Because I think it looks great in the case, and I think it'll display nice. And it's not really about protection. I know a lot of people like to say protection, but I think that's kind of it's not protection. My one touches and top loaders in superior fit sleeves can protect it just as well. So I think that's just kind of a funny way of saying. I'm like, if we're not throwing these across the room, we're dunking in water. So I think whatever way you do is fine. So, but my collection is about half raw, half graded. So it's not all graded. I don't mind raw cards. I enjoy them just as much.
Although if you put in like Tim McHenry's Slab Strong thing, you could throw across the room. But then again, I don't recommend doing that.
That's
even though you
true.
could.
I
Even though
love,
you could.
I hope I don't
that
get in a
you're
situation
going
where
there.
we have to do that. Or
I love that you were doing that, Kent, because I was thinking about, hey, I could totally plug Slab Strong here. So, Eric, if you're hearing, I'm plugging Slab Strong, and their case would look amazing. He can probably get you colors, the Seattle colors.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean,
yeah,
it'd be cool for the looks of it, and like I understand if I know if you do a lot of card shows and traveling, I'm sure that's gonna definitely help protect it too if it's like rattling around and moving around. So no, I know there's a use for it for sure.
For sure. Go ahead,
you want to show a couple of comments there to me before I
let's see. Oh, George is on fire again. Okay, let's see what he's doing. George likes the idea of us contacting for a show. I think that's what he's talking about. That's cool. So George will email you after. Tony is the man. I got one of his cards that used to be up there in his display on my desk. Awesome. Eric said, "I know someone who throws cards across the room." Yes,
I bet you do, Eric. I bet you do.
You do. And actually, Eric was the reason we met Tim from a Slab Song.
Gotcha.
So we're pretty happy with that. And then George, Tony doesn't live in Korea with the summer humidity. He needs slab to keep the water out.
Yeah, no, that's true. I understand. There's definitely places like Florida or Korea that makes more sense. I get that. Sure.
So, speaking of the grading, this kind of leads me into segues into my next question. So, not long ago, you decided to get a whole bunch of non-sport card sealed packs graded. So, what was the motivation behind that submission?
I just thought it'd be. I haven't seen very many of them, so I thought it'd be cool, like again, to display some of them. I actually bought a ton of non-sports at my LCS. He had a bunch of Mario packs. And so I'm like, oh, these are pretty cool looking. I've never seen these before. So I bought like 2 hobby boxes full of them. And I was just going to keep them there. Then I think I saw a post or something, or I saw a picture of a PSA graded one. I said, oh, that's cool. I'm going to grade some of these just for fun. So let me go look for some more nostalgic things from the 80s and 90s from like when I was a kid to just slap these up. So I've like, I don't know what's going to happen because there was zero market for it back then. I literally subbed these like a year and a half ago. Like, was it, you know how PSA is right now. It's taken forever. Yeah. But I got the great price back then, which was I think $25 a slab, which is like right now at the min is like $100
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought they look cool. To be cool to display my favorite slabs. So one of them here. It's a Fortnite one. I thought that was cool. Series 1, so I think it might have some significance at some point. That's not nostalgic though, but this one is. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I love this. It's Rocky. It's the double series. It's Drago and Rocky. So I'm like, man, this is so cool. So I still got to find a place to display it, but nostalgic stuff like that. That's why I got these.
So according to George, he says probably filled with G.I. Joe.
Could be. I mean, these were verified by BBCE, so who knows?
We're not going to stir up any controversy, but man, that was insane. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost track of where we are.
Sorry.
Were you finished with your question, Ken?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. I really dig your collection of packs for nostalgic reasons. I didn't know that there was Rocky packs, so that's Rocky is one of my favorite movies. So I'm definitely gonna. Sorry, I'm gonna steal your idea.
No, it's out there. Yeah, go ahead. It's a lot of cool
once
stuff.
It's affordable. Yeah, once it's affordable. Do you have how many? How many 1-on-1s or super short prints do you have in your collection?
Total, I have a couple hundred. I have
no kidding. Wow.
I have about I think 50 or 60 super fractors currently in my collection. A couple hundred non-plate 1-on-1s. Mostly of Ichiro, Cano, Upton, and Benetendi, and I also have a handful of others that I have just because I thought they were cool looking cards, or I got them on a good deal. But yeah, I used to not recently, but there's a good chunk of time, maybe a 3-4 year period where I was obsessed with 101 cards and I was trying to buy them all, and kind of toned down that. But yeah, so.
So you've made no secret that you're a Darius Bazley fan. You've been collecting him for quite a while. The question we have is, well, it's twofold. One is, what is it about Darius Bazley you love, and what is it about his game what about his game do you make you want to collect him?
It's funny because it all began when I started getting into basketball, when the Zion hype started. So that's actually when I started getting a little bit of basketball in my collection. I started buying packs and looking into basketball. I've always been a fan of basketball, but I never really paid much attention to collecting because I was primarily baseball. But I found 2 boxes at my LCS, and at the time they were $350 a box of Hobby Prism. At the time, remember, this is kind of pre-pandemic, pre-boom. That was insanity. Like, because before then, like 2017, 2018, they were like $80 to $100 retail for Prism.
That's right. Yeah.
So it went up to $350, and I was like, this is insanity. Like, but like, I remember I just said, like, I really wanted this box. I got caught up in the hype, the Zion and Jaw hype. So I said, I'm going to buy 2 boxes. So I opened them all up. Actually, like, my wife opened up. She likes ripping up the packs because she thinks it's fun. I just tell her who to find, and then she saw, we got some base Zion, some base Jaw, but the biggest hit we got was a Darius Bazley. So I don't know if I have it here. Yes, right here. This is the actual card right here. It's the Mojo.
Oh, Mojo. Wow.
These are really hard to grab. So it was out of 25. So out of the 2 boxes, this was the biggest hit in the box. So I was like pissed. Who's Darius Bazley? Whatever. Maybe I threw it on the ground too hard because I'm still upset I got an 8 on it because I'm pretty good at grading. So I was like, there must be a surface scratch, but it's not a big deal. But I got it graded, and I started researching him. I'm like, oh, okay, this kid is actually, like, has a good attitude. He took a really unique break, and he was supposed to go to Syracuse. Instead, he took a 1-year intern at New Balance, and like, it was just like a really unique story. And he was super humble. And I watched all those like mixed videos of every good play he does, all that stuff to make him look even better. But I was like, wow, this kid's good. Like, I think this will be a good person to collect, since all the attention was on Luka and on Zion and Jaw. All the attention was. I mean, his rookie cards were going for like $1-2. His prisms were like less than $10. So I just loaded up. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be my one basketball. Kind of like what I did with Benetendi. I said, this is gonna be my basketball guy. Like, I don't care if he plays at the the Samsung Seoul Thunder. That's George would know that. That's a Korean basketball team.
Oh, okay.
So he might go from this team to because he's struggling like crazy right now. But the first 2 years he was doing amazing. He was doing better. His numbers were getting better. I follow every one of his games on Gamecast because it's fun. It gives me more time to root for him. And he actually, I had a tweet before that didn't age very well. But his first year was almost exactly the same of Giannis. They called him Baby Giannis back then. A small niche of people called him that. He had almost exactly the same numbers and rebounds and points in the second year. He elevated almost double, almost exactly again with Giannis. I was like, oh, okay. So obviously it's not a trend yet. It's only 2 years. And I know this is the most ridiculous thing ever, but that'd be fun if you can go there. I can literally retire off him if I ever wanted to sell it. I'm not planning on it, but then third year and he crashed, like, because they drafted a very high pick, Josh Giddey from Australia, like the 6th pick, who's actually incredible. I hate to say it, but he's taking all his minutes and he's actually doing really well. So I'm not sure Bazley's going to do well in the Thunder. He might have to get traded to another team where he gets more minutes. He definitely has the potential. He's had some very good games and athleticism. He's just very inconsistent right now. So, I'm hoping he grows, but that's the thing I like about this, because if he doesn't, I'm fine. I'll still collect his cards. I still enjoy them. I pulled a couple of his good ones because with basketball, National Treasures, I learned was the biggest card you can get for a player. So I made sure I got these early on when they're cheap. So this is a horizontal at a 75. So
it's double signed?
Yeah, he double. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. It was unique. He was the only one who double signed his cards, which is
that's crazy.
Really cool. So that's the horizontal, and the kind of the coveted one is the vertical. So that's the vertical one, and he double signed that as well. So, So these are really cool cards. I have a ton of Bazley's. I have hundreds of his prisms. I have all the colors. I got a lot of PSA ones and autographs, and I enjoy those as well. So it's fun to collect them. And since he's been doing poorly, it's actually been even more fun to collect them because his prices have gone down. So it's easier to pick up his cards.
Hey, Meat, wasn't there a Crosby that was double signed? Didn't Crosby double sign something?
I do recall something along that. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember where, but I do. Oh, there is a double sign. It's from Rookie Update. So it was the horizontal with the cutout window, but it's a dual auto, but it's himself against himself.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Right, because I don't know what the rumor is. I don't know what the actual story is, but apparently his dad didn't want Sydney to sign with someone else, so he wanted a card only with Sydney. So they had to put 2 Sydney autos in that. So if I'm hearing correctly, and Sydney is our GOAT, right? Or he's probably up there. He's going to be.
Oh yeah, I don't know hockey much, but I know Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, he's amazing. You kind of led me down a different path with your questions about basketball. Sorry, your PC about basketball. You're definitely approaching it from a different mindset. So one of the things that Kent and I wanted to do was not everything in our hobby is about money, right? So an example is you have your main player who's Ichiro, who's fairly well known and very popular player, but then you have 2 that are kind of like middling, right? You have the Benetendis and you have Darius Bazley, but you're still collecting.
Yeah.
So I want people out there to understand, like, your collection is what it's worth to you. You're collecting what you like. So here's an example of someone who's going with his heart, collecting what he feels makes sense, and you should be able to do the same and not feel any differently. The one question I wanted to ask you is your stadium card that you got graded. What's the pop count on it?
Stadium card? What's that? Oh,
the Seattle foil.
Oh, actually, I haven't looked it up. Probably one.
I can tell
you. I have a lot of cards that are pop 1 because no one else grades it. I don't know if you want to see the number, if that helps or not.
Yeah, just read it to me.
Okay, 553-090-60.
Pop 1.
Oh yeah. Now I can put it on eBay now for huge money.
I don't know if you can see that.
Pop see the one. I can see the one.
So I actually got a PSA sub back yesterday, actually, and I just got it in. A bunch of Seattle stuff. So these are all probably pop 1 too, because I have a lot of love for my city. So this is an Allen and Ginter Space Needle card.
While we're here, give me the number.
Okay. 55006-383.
Hey, what's going on, Josh? Thanks for coming into the room.
You also have a pop 1, and I love that it's the Space Needle, Keys to the City, Gentman 10, pop 1.
Nice. So here's another one that I missed a horrible edging on this, but it's the Safeco Field 2012. I got a PSA 5 somehow because of the edging. I totally missed it on that. So this is probably a pop 1 too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, anything that's PSA 5 is a pop 1 because no one leaves anything in the PSA
This is
5.
one of my favorite ones. This is a Kingdom one. It's from the same 2012 set because I love 2012. So they had the Safeco Field and they had the Kingdom picture. They had one for every stadium. So I don't know if they did multiple stadiums for other teams that had had old and new stadiums. So I'm not sure how that works, but they had 2. But this one is really special to me, and I'm gonna actually have another order that I think I have 10 or 12 of these. This card was actually created by not created. The photo was taken by a friend of mine. His name is Luca, who's on Twitter. He's a Seattle native like me. And the thing is, I was looking through my cards to send in with my Seattle stuff, and I saw that name, and it was in my box for a couple of years. And I was like, that name looks familiar. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know this guy. And I like DM'd him, like, is this you? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, man, if I were you, I'd be bragging about this all day. It'd be my profile picture. But this card is stadium scenes of 2015 Topps opening day. And that's his name down there, Luca. And I literally just got this back yesterday. I've been waiting for this card for like a year and a half. And it's a picture that he took, and like he won some kind of contest, and he got the card. He got his photo turned into a card.
That's really cool.
Can't we have more ideas for people to bring on? We gotta write that.
Yeah,
down.
for sure.
So I promised him and my buddy Mike one of these graded cards, but it's going to be in a different batch. I only got one of these on this one, so I'm keeping this one for myself. But yeah, that's Seattle.
You'll notice a theme here about how generous Tony is. It's coming up, but you'll hear he's a fairly generous guy. Let me just. Sorry, we have some questions here. Give me 1 second here. Where are we? Okay, so George, he was mentioning that the Samsung Thunder playing the arena behind the one he puts the video the other day. So I'll have to check out your channel, George, to see what it's all about. Jamil is like the sports mecca of the Samsung Thunder. SK Knights, LG Twins, Deuce and Bears, and Sale FC all in the same complex. Peeps has a shout out to KBO. Hey Peeps, thanks for joining. And they're having a conversation with themselves. Let me just keep going down here. George has pop ones of Mutt and Jeff tobacco card. I don't know what that is, but I think it's cool.
I don't know either.
And then Tony showing off his pop one from Mike McKenna.
Mike, that's my guy.
And
one of the best guys in the hobby. It's Mike.
He says the same view.
No. He's my hobby rock.
There you go.
Mike _ McKenna on Twitter. He's one of the nicest guys, and he has probably one of the most knowledge in the hobby. Like, he can make deals out of anything, and he has an incredible Trout PC and everything.
Yes, I've seen his Trout PC.
Oh, you have. So you already know him. He has monster cards. He's well known. So I appreciate him being my friend and talking to me, and because I talk to him a lot, and yeah, he's an awesome guy.
I have friends that are in the card hobby that I've never met.
Yeah, I've never met him too. It's on my bucket list to meet him. I want to meet him. Absolutely. He's one of the few that I really want to see.
There's a buddy of mine I talked to out west and another buddy out east. We've never met each other, but we text all the time. So it's very interesting. Like pen pals.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And Mike, we're going to reach out to you too. So FYI. Let's go. Kent, I think, hold on.
No, you got one more question. What the Seattle sports teams?
Okay. So this kind of segues into our next one. Thanks, Kent. And when I thought of Seattle Supersonics, to be honest with you, the first thing that popped in my head is the Pearl Blaylock story. So have that fresh in your mind. The Seattle Supersonics moved away and became the Oklahoma City Thunder. Seattle in the Pacific Northwest has such a rich history with sports and teams, which now includes hockey. Do you hope Seattle will get a franchise one day?
NBA franchise back.
Absolutely. With the new Climate Pledge Arena that we got built for the Kraken, that's kind of like the first step of getting the team back here. So I think we have very, very high hopes. There's a lot of cult followings of the Sonics here who are dying to have him back. So we almost had him back a couple years ago with the Kings until they squashed that. We almost got the Kings up here. So close. But we definitely want him back. And I'm excited when that happens. Hopefully in the next couple of years.
Was it Sean Kemp was the big Supersonic back in the day?
Yes. Sean Kemp and Gary Payton were the
Gary, for sure.
And then actually Mookie Blaylock wasn't a Supersonic, was he?
I don't think so. I don't think he was.
Gonna have to think of that Pearl Jam reference. Maybe I got it wrong. And just so everyone knows, Tony is from Seattle, so he grew up with the grunge movement. So we have a lot of similar tastes in music, but we'll save that for another show. Jeremy from Sports Cars Live. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy. I'm a big fan of Jeremy. I watch his stuff. I have him. I was listening to the podcast of him. I have the next one up is the one where he goes over the PWCC auctions because I like listening to him and Adam talk. I don't know any of those guys. Like I I'm kind of the weirdo who just like watches it from afar. But I'm a huge fan of Jeremy. Yeah.
There you go, Jeremy.
Jeremy's a good guy. I've known
Yeah.
Jeremy for over 20, I want to say 25 years, 20 years. It's been a while.
Long time.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he's a super good guy, super knowledgeable. And,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's he's definitely put his presence out there in the last year or so. It's been definitely fun watching his stuff for sure.
The only thing I don't like is he's taller than me, and there's not many people in the hobby that know me, so I don't like that. So
yeah, I heard he was very tall. Yeah,
he's 6'5", I'm 6'3", and it's only him and one other guy that I have to
look
up
so
at,
you can't tell how tall people are. How tall are you?
Wait. How tall is Angel?
Angel's 6', same height as Jeremy, I think.
Wow.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So those are the two people that are
Wow.
very tall. Which every time I meet Jeremy, I give him a big hug, but I'm like, damn, I'm looking up at him. I don't like that. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Are you above 6 feet 2, Kent? Are you?
Hell no.
Oh, Jeremy, thanks for the kind compliment. He says I'm better looking, so I'll take that all the way to the bank. Okay.
Sorry, one second. And Jeremy said, thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Completely went off script here, so let's get you back to answering your question about the Seattle franchises. So you were saying that you're hoping, but let's finish up that comment.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, and the Kraken is a big step here for Seattle. We're all still absorbing it. We still don't know what to do with hockey. Like, to be honest, we're all like,
yeah.
I listen to sports podcasts all the time too, and we're like, is this right? Are these should be this good? Or should they be this bad? Like, is this many? Like, no one knows. Even our like professional sportscasters are like, we're learning just like everyone else. So, I'm hoping to become a big fan. The only issue of like, I want to go to a game really bad, but of course, inaugural season. So the tickets are like 3, 4, 5x. The season tickets have been sold out for like 2 years. So it's like, I want to wait till the prices go down a little, because I've heard, and I'm sure you can validate it for me, that watching hockey live is like an incredible experience. Nothing like watching on TV, because I can't keep track on TV, but in person, I heard it's pretty wild.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
But I have to tell you, Tony, $350 for a ticket is actually very good.
Really?
In Toronto, I can't get tickets for less than 5 times face value. So,
oh my gosh,
it's here to get a ticket to a game. You either got to know somebody, sacrifice a leg, donate a kidney. You might be lucky.
It's still that high demand, even though you have hockey there like all the time.
Yep.
It's crazy in demand. It's nuts.
It's insane, and it's like to get a hockey ticket in Toronto is next to
impossible. Wow, I didn't know it was that like rabid of a following like that.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's even if they're playing bad, you can not get. It's hard to get a ticket.
It's hard.
I would say the same for where Eric is. Eric's in Boston. I'd say the same thing.
Boston should be pretty intense as well, and New York City. But it's hockey is religion here, right? So
wow.
But now the Raptors have put a dent in that, so Raptors have become religion too. So I do hope you get a franchise back. Let us help you with picking a player off the franchise to collect. I think I can help you with that. So
I have no idea about that. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of guys that aren't bad players to pick out. They're good players. So I have a couple of ideas. And plus, the general manager for the Kraken is a legend himself, Ron Francis. So there's a good one there. So you don't have to worry about values on that one. He's already a very well-known, very well-respected player. So you have that.
Hopefully in next year's draft, they'll get a young, good lad, and that's somebody you could start following. To.
That's true.
Well, they're going to get a high pick.
That's what I mean. They're going to get a high pick. So it should be somebody that should be pretty good.
For sure. Sorry, Peeps is asking a question. Have you seen Tony's most recent Ichiro pickup? No, we're going to hopefully see something tonight. And Eric says he's never going to picture with either of us again. That's true. Eric is not 6 feet. And Mike agrees that hockey is amazing live. It is. It is amazing live.
Excellent.
So, Kent, I'm going to throw it back over to you, buddy.
Sure. So Peep's question kind of leads me into my next question is, so you've had some awesome pulls. Can you share with us some of your favorite high-end cards, I guess?
High-end cards. Just anything or...
Anything that's within your grasping vicinity.
Yes.
Okay.
That doesn't have another card on top of it.
I'm going to go non-sport. Okay, this isn't high-end at all. This is just a fun story of...
Here, let's do this.
of going to the local drugstore and finding Pokemon packs. So I found some Pokemon packs at our local drugstore that have been sitting there for a couple years at least. From what I researched it and the dust that was on these packs,
Why can't we find finds like that? I mean,
they were behind the counter with all the nicotine patches and cigarettes and stuff. They have like a little section of cards. So it's like, oh, Pokemon. Let me type it in eBay because I don't know anything about Pokemon. So, and I read it and I said, wait, this is from a couple of years ago. These packs are actually going for a lot online. So I bought like every pack they had. They had like 10 packs. It wasn't like a lot. But it was sitting there forever.
Yeah.
And then, so I pulled actually I told my wife to pull it, but she likes Pokemon. She plays the game. So I said, you pull a Charizard for me. And she pulled this one.
Oh, wow.
What the heck? Wow,
Charizard
really?
Holo. Then I subbed it to PSA and got a 9. And the thing is, it's mislabeled. It's not Flashfire. It's from the XY series. But
look at that. 2014 packs are sitting at that drugstore.
Yeah, they were just sitting there forever. So that was a cool one. So that was fun. So this is like one of those forever cards. Was like the way I got it and how like we had fun pulling it. So and I like having it in case just because I think it just presents well. And the other one that I think we talked about earlier was Fortnite, where I bought a whole hundreds of packs of Fortnite. It's because of my buddy Nick Martin on Twitter.
Explain how many packs you actually bought.
Like 100 fat packs. They're not regular packs, they're fat packs. Okay, because he told me that Fortnite's going to be hot. Just try it out. I'm like, I was like, I don't know anything about Fortnite. He said, just do it. It's fun. You can get big time cards out of it. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I trust him. He's a big collector. He's a good friend. He's the biggest. I don't know if you know anything about football. He's the biggest Aaron Donald collector out there. He has like literally every single big card of his. So, but a really good guy. And he told me to open up, and I found nothing. I told my wife again. My wife loves opening packs, so I always just give it to her because she has so much fun. I tell her the name and says, "Look for this and go for it." And literally, like I couldn't scripted it better. And I don't care if people believe me or not because it doesn't really matter. But she literally opened 99 packs and got nothing that we had any idea. Literally, the last pack, she pulled the holy grail of Fortnite, which was this exact card, which is the holo foil Black Knight. They had the base version, and this is basically kind of like the refractor kind of thing, holo foil. Yeah. So these are very condition sensitive because I was thinking I might get an 8, possibly a 9, and so I was really happy at the 9. So
now, Tony, tell the audience what a 10 goes for.
I think probably the last 10 sold for like 15-20K, I think.
There you go, folks.
So hard to find. It's not serious. It's not to the equivalent of a 93 Jeter, but the foiling is really bad on these. It has a lot of edging issues and stuff. So getting a 10 is very hard on these. So again, I didn't really care because I'm not selling it. It's part of another story. That's why I enjoy this hobby, because I know there's a lot of people who look at cards and see dollar signs. They see stock symbols, and that's fine. I have a lot of friends who do that, but I don't see that. Like I have my separate thing. I have my career, my real estate investments, my stocks and stuff. That's business. That's money. I look only at money, but this is not money to me. I'm obviously aware of the values, because when I'm buying stuff, I need to know that too, right? And insurance purposes too, because I do have an Excel sheet for insurance purposes. So it's a big lesson to a lot of people. And I've had some stories I've heard where they don't know the values of the cards when unfortunately things get stolen or damaged. So make sure you know the values of your cards. It's good to know. I have a separate collectible insurance for all my stuff. It's hopefully never need to use it, but that's why people say, why do you need to know all that? Why do you care about that? And I've had people I know, I won't say names, where they found out their collection was, well over 7 figures. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, so you went on vacation, you did all this stuff, and you didn't know you had a 7-figure collection at your house, not insured. So if it burned down, like, you'd get nothing for it. I mean, or it'd be hard to get that value because you didn't insure it for that much. So I know I'm going on a tangent, but it's really important to know that kind of stuff.
No, this is great. We weren't expecting this. I love that you're going down this way. I agree in terms of I have my real estate and stock investments, and I'm like, okay, that stuff can never be scrutinized. my hobby is my playground, right? So I don't really look at it. I would be a liar if I said I didn't look at it from an investment angle. I do, but I also have more fun with it than not. There seems to be a very active chatter going on in here, but I think it's Eric and Jeremy having fun with each other. So I will skip those parts. No, I got to show this. Eric looks ridiculous no matter who he's in the picture with. I'm just going to say that. Yes, Hartford Whaler legend, Ronnie Franchise, or Ron Francis, the GM for the Kraken.
Gotcha.
And we love Ron Francis.
That's good then. Then I feel better for the Kraken then.
For sure. And he was actually in Carolina before. He's a good player.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, he played. Yeah, he was in Carolina before, and with the management team. And then Sports Card Live, Jeremy is talking about Dale Howardchuk, same rookie year as Ronnie Franchise. Unfortunately, Dale Howardchuk is no longer with us. He succumbed to cancer, I believe, last year. It a big loss to the hobby community and hockey community in general. Mike McKenna said, "This is so cool." Yes, I'm agreeing. We're already at the hour mark, and we haven't even gotten halfway through our questions.
Excellent. So that reminds me, unfortunately, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry.
So why don't you do that?
I drank too much water before. I'll be right back.
Yes, go for it, and we'll fill the dead air here. So, George has been sliding into Tony's DMs during the conversation to show some gems. So, Tony, check your phone. And yeah, that was an awesome last pack pulls. Like on the 99th pack, they were hitting nothing and then got the Hollow Knight, I think it was. I can't remember what it was called. You're on mute, buddy.
Black Knight Holofoil.
There you go. And George, I don't look at it from a money perspective since mostly my collection is made up of a lot of low-end grade vintage. Yep, I agree. A lot of my anything of any value for me is kept in the bank. I don't keep it in my house. It's not much of it, trust me. It's if I could sell half the junk that was here, the 25-cent and 50-cent cards, they wouldn't be on my shelf. And he's got a lot of ones in the collection for sure. So while Tony is what's going on here? Peeps has said, in the meantime, really enjoying the rips you follow the showcasing. Thank you. So
thanks, Josh. Appreciate that, bud.
So Kent and I are really trying to grow the channel and show different things. I'm going to start doing some opinion pieces. So I've been doing stuff on EPAC, just random box breaks. Kent really and I are both really into entertainment, so we're going to do some entertainment stuff. So we're really going to have fun with the channel this year, and really tie everything back from a hobby-centric point of view, and still mention the whole diversity and inclusivity angle of our show, because we want to show that there are other collectors out there, and it's okay to collect who you collect, right? And perfect timing, Tony is back.
Okay, I think I saved myself an hour.
So I want to ask you first: are you okay to keep going? Because
of course, yeah. As long as you guys want to go, I'll go.
Excellent.
I could talk all night. That's the problem.
You'll have to take a couple months off then.
We'll go that crazy because my wife will kill me. Kent, it's over to you, buddy.
Yep. So Tony, being a seasoned collector, what are some of your thoughts with how the hobby has transpired during the past 2 years of the pandemic? From your perspective, what has been bad and what has been good in your eyes?
I'll start off with the good. Again, it's kind of I know it's hypocritical, but even though these are collections, my collection's probably a lot of my cards, big time cards, are 10, 20x, and that's fun to see. No matter how PC they are, it's I guess it gives it validation. You know, it gives me a little bit of validation of like, hey, this is I picked some good cards and they're worth something, and now more of the general public can appreciate it. And I actually watched the episode you had was She Collects Cards, where she talked about her Asian family not appreciating cards. My family's the same. I mean, I'm Korean, I have typical Korean parents, and I can like proudly tell them like, hey, my collection's worth this. It's like, no way. They're like, but they understood it now because we're in the age where even the older generation have smartphones. Like 2 years ago, my parents never had smartphones. Now they have it, and they're telling me about, hey, do you watch YouTube? Like, yeah, I know what that is. And they know about stuff. They know about the news. They know about like all the hype about stuff. They see the articles and stuff. So they're like, well, that's really cool. And of course, they tell me to sell everything. I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell everything. They're like, yeah, get the money. I'm like, no, that's not what
that's about. Like my dad. My dad's the same way. He's like, that's worth how much? Sell it.
Yep.
Well, there's a whole I'm going to do an episode on this, but it's a fear of scarcity, right? You always feel you never have enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cards are like that, right? Like you
Yeah.
get that way. You're like, well, if I sell it now, well, it'll be worth more, But then there's there's a reason why extremely wealthy people are successful. They don't have an emotional attachment to what they're flipping and selling.
That's true.
That's what separates us from the true sharks. So it's okay. We need them too.
That's true. No, that's true. There's
But
room
they've
for
helped us
everybody.
grow the hobby, right? Like,
Absolutely,
with
they have.
Golden showing up on Fox News, and you have Jeremy's channel, and then a bunch of other channels that are out there. Sports. Jeff Wilson's channel, and Gary V. They made card collecting cool, right? So they made card collecting another asset class. Well, that's great for me because I can tell everybody, oh, I collect cards. Well, I did anyway. I didn't.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's one of the good things is, if you think of it in a financial way, we, many of us who collected before the boom, before anyone else got in, we got in at a extremely good price on a lot of Grail cards, like a lot of Grail Ichiro cards. Majority of mine, there's absolutely no way right now. But I just watch golden auctions. I watch PWCC auctions where it's like insanity, where I'm seeing these high five-figure cards of Ichiro that I own that are selling. And I'm like, are you like seriously? Like I even Googled my Gmail search and see how much I paid for it. It's like this is crazy. So that stuff I like it. The only bad thing about that is like I really can't buy any more, because I'm so used to what I paid for it before. I'm not going to pay today's prices. Like there's certain exceptions, like I was saying that Topps employee card, like we were talking about earlier. That's like an exception, like something that's like I need that card. If the Flying Catch card comes out, Super Fractor comes out, I might have to sell a Grail because I'm going after that with all hands on deck. Really rare things like that. But otherwise, I'm enjoying like simple cards. Like, let's see. I have it here. Maybe I don't. No, I don't. Oh, I didn't prepare for it. But I have some new cards that I got in that I'm getting really having fun collect. Oh, here they are.
That's a true collector moment, by the way. Just now, Tony, when you're like, I know it's here. I think it's there.
Here.
No, it's not here. Oh, it's here.
I've lost stuff. So I've always appreciated like the low rank cards purely by design. And I think there's other people who have the same sentiment as me. It's not something.
Sure. Yeah.
But so I'm very choosy on what I pick. Low and high, and it doesn't matter if it looks beautiful. I want it for my PC. But the 2021 Topps All-Star Rookie Cup set I think it was like a hidden gem in 2021. Absolutely beautiful set. So they have the Ichiro one. Just the base alone is like a hollow foil.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely beautiful. Then I got the I don't know what the parallel is, like a sparkle thing. It's like has great shine. It doesn't show very well, but it's not a 99. And then the variation as well, where he's just kind of just chilling out in right field. So that's a variation. And so I like those cards, and this Archives one, because this is kind of nostalgic to me too, of 1990. It's the refractor of him in his classic pose. So I just got those in. I spent like a week looking for these, looking for the right auctions, and typical collector form. Like the week it comes out, I freak out because I think they're so beautiful, but they're sold for like 2-3x from what they did. When I waited like 3 weeks, that's like the Asian in me. I'm like cheap and stereotypical. Like I'm not gonna pay that. Like, waited. So I waited like a month to get these because I wanted to get the best possible deal on these. But I love these cards. I'm like, they're not like high end, but it's like, I put these in my home office when I'm working, and I usually put 1 or 2 up and I switch them out because I like looking at them all day while I'm working because it's it's fun. It gives me happiness, like looking at cool cards.
And you know what to say? It's the Asian in you. It's the South Asian in all of us. Like I'm South Asian, and but I think all of us who have been in a hobby long enough are always like, it's no different than buying a stock, right? When you set the option call, right? Oh, if you could do that on cards, well, we kind of do actually, because when you're doing snipes, you're setting your max and your min, right? It's kind of like an option call.
Absolutely,
but it's true. But the one thing I do and I refuse to do is once I paid for the card, I'm not looking back.
Yeah.
I just won't, because I have paid obscene amounts for my Wendell Clark collection, and then
Yes, you have. I would agree with that.
and I've sold them for less than what I paid, but it was
Yeah.
money in, money out. I'm like, whatever, it's done. And let's go back to some questions. There's a lot of questions here. There's a lot
Start with Peeps at 956.
Peeps at 956. Okay, so in the meantime, he says, I enjoy the rips you fellas are showcasing. Thank you, Peeps. And I want to give you a shout out. I think I did last week, but I'm not sure. But introducing us to Diamond Princess and then getting us some more subs. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, Josh is the man.
And channel's so great. Yes, all of it. Thank you very much. George, E-Pack is pretty fun. Got into it for about a month and enjoyed it. The only issue is too easy to spend money. That is the whole
true.
point of E-Pack. So I can tell you all about E-Pack, and I do a lot of it. He discovered E-Pack. I think that's what he's talking about, E-Pack. And then George is like, dude, trying to explain my collection of coworkers can get interesting. Then I show them the value of some of it, and their jaw drops. True. Oh, keep going.
Keep going.
We get attached to the cards, especially the ones you've chased for a long time. So yes, there's emotional currency, right? There's a currency people don't talk about, which is emotional currency, right? There's the money you spend plus attachment. And I know there's what is that that lady in Japan that does the trimming of your collections. What's there's a movement.
Oh, I know you're talking about the minimalist.
Yes,
lady. Yeah, I know.
Minimalist doesn't work for card collectors. Some do. Some do, but not for me.
What are you talking about, Mary Kondo?
There it is.
That's her.
Mary Kondo. I can't Mary Kondo my collection to save my life, man. Forget it. I love them all, even the crappy 10-cent cards. They also think some of the cards are 50 to 100 years old for sure. And Peep says, I love Ichiro's early BBM cards. The one thing I noticed in your collection, Ichiro's popular stance is where he bats and he holds the bat out, right?
Yes.
Do you have any cards with that stance?
I don't think I have any autograph. I have plenty of cards like that. I actually have a 16 by 20 photo WBC photo of him doing the sleeve tug autograph.
Oh yeah.
So it's a beautiful one. It's one of my favorite photos. But yeah, I like that stance.
Actually, I have a bunch of World Baseball Classic cards. I haven't even looked at them in ages. They're all uncut sheets. It's like not a pocket of 3x3. I have them somewhere. And the questions keep going. We have two more. George loves that set. I don't know which set he's talking about.
It was the one that Tony was just showing those special foil.
Okay.
Ricky Cup.
And Tony won't pay $3 for that when he get it for $1 in 2 weeks. I love it.
It's true.
All right, Kent. I don't know where we are.
You're going to ask him about the LCSs.
Oh, you were asking actually before you go there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
You were talking about the good and bad of the hobby.
Yes, that's right.
I was telling you the good. The bad is this. Okay, do you have your phone?
Yes,
Amit?
I do.
Can you look up this pop number for me?
Yep. Go for it.
424-245-36.
The fact that it has a lot of fours is not good. I can tell you that right now. Holy cow. So, Luka Doncic.
Okay.
So, hold up the card. So, classic Prism rookie. There are 13,938.
Only 13,000.
Exactly.
Well, hold on. It gets worse. And I don't want to get into controversy because there's people who say there's not enough of them out in the ether. Whatever. I think there's a lot. So, your grade is a 9. So, I said 13,938 nines. But there are 18,190 cards with a higher grade.
Absolutely. Those are the two numbers I wanted you to say. Are those? And I have the red, white, and blue. That's probably just as insane. I have the red cracked ice. That's just as insane. And I have the silver. That's probably.
Oh, you have a silver too. Wow.
So the thing about that is, too many people, too many of these popular maybe YouTube entertainers make it seem that if I want this card or I have this card, it's worthless, it's useless, and there's too many people who have them, so it's not rare. So I don't care. You have to color up. If you don't, these are not cool cards to have. Like I love these cards. I don't care when, like I said, if you told me that pop number was 50,000, I don't care. I love the look of the card. I'm actually a huge fan of Luka. So again, being cheap, I won't get the 10s. I won't get the 9s because I'm not that big of a fan. So
it's like I love you, but not that much.
Yeah. So it always makes me like, it puts a bad taste in my mouth, I guess, personally, when people like look at these and they laugh and say, well, there's 20,000. I don't care if they're 20,000. Do you like Five Guys burgers? Yeah, there's 15,000 of those locations. So because 15,000 people like it, does that mean it makes it any less special that you have it? I have a Nissan Altima in my driveway. If there's 100,000 other people who drive it, who cares? Do I like it? Do I enjoy it? Does it bring me happiness? Yeah, because I look at it as a collector. I know I'm on a high horse. I'm sorry, but as a collector, I don't care how many people have it. I enjoy it, but there's so many of these people who are financial. These are stocks and not cards. That all they care about is pops 30,000. It's junk. It's junk slab. I'm like, no, it's beautiful cards. I love these. So that's the thing that I think there's a little too much of, to me personally. It's my humble opinion. I know people will disagree with me, but that's what I haven't enjoyed as much in the last 2 years. Okay. Too much of that, in my opinion. So I don't know what your thoughts are.
I'll wade into this controversy. I'm going to put my one pinky toe in
very gently in the water.
Yeah, because I'm all about, not about controversy, right? We're all about just kind of neutrality in our show. But let's go here for a second. Since you went there and you're passionate about it, I will discuss. So I think that there was a reference to there was a famous podcast by the guys from Card Ladder and Josh Cardboard Chronicles, and he was interviewing someone who talked about board money, right? What the intent of board money was people who didn't know what to do. They took the money and they put it in the cards, right? So sneakerheads went into cards, then they went into Robinhood, they went into stocks. Robinhood stocks. They kept moving the money around NFTs, right?
Sure.
So they're going to follow the trends, right? But as they follow the trends, they're bubbling up to popularity. So you're going to get a couple of people that'll stick, right? So let's say 2% people stick around to enjoy the hobby. Those are 2% of people that are going to be passionate about it. I don't mind if the crowd moves.
Sure.
Right. But the one thing it has done is made cards popular, right? Like the really big shot cards. It's cool. It's like going to a museum and seeing, a Rolls Royce that you can't afford. So that's a bad example. But going to see a Mona Lisa, right? When you look at actually, no, I don't like the Mona Lisa. But anyway, that doesn't give me an example. But looking at a famous painting and you look at it and you're like, wow, I can never afford that. But it's on the wall there. And the other thing that this whole the influencer generation has made, they also talked about the cards as an art form. So if you look behind you, you don't have a Mona Lisa on your wall, but you're showing off your cards, right? So it's like your way of showing off art, right? So there are pros and cons to it. I'm okay if the influencers leave and kind of silence themselves and move on in their journey and leave it to the rest of us. I'm okay with that because they left a legacy that's risen all boats. Like what's that popular saying?
All tides.
Yes, all tides raise all boats. Well, guess what? Thank you for raising all the tides, raising the boats.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
And maybe it's just evolution of the hobby. There are cards you're not supposed to own. Fine, we don't own them, but why feel bad about it? So the one thing you're doing is you're secure in who you are as a person, right? You're just secure in your hobby, and that's what counts. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's good.
Kent, I'll let you. Since I'm going to controversy and you're my partner in crime, you're next.
No, I'm not going there. You already said enough.
All right, fine.
So before I get into the next series of questions,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to start from here. So George says, my favorite Ichiro is his final 2018 card. Josh says, all Luca has to do is rise to the heights of the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. And Josh again says, indeed, Pop is overrated. Mike, in the grand scheme of things, even 18,000 aren't that many when you look at the population of people / collectors out there, which is very true. Because if everybody wants Luca, you're going to get a chance to get Luca.
Absolutely.
George, collect what you love and you won't be disappointed. Eric says, I agree with Tony completely. And then we've got latest comment was, Dennis, I collect what I collect, don't care about value except what I have to pay to get it. So
that's true.
So there you go.
So we're all passionate collectors. I do think it's a lot of cards. I think it'll take a while for it to get swallowed up because the reason I'm questionable in that, and I'll just be, since we're talking about controversy and I already waded my toe in, I'll put my second toe in. There are many cards that there are 13 to 14,000 pop on, right? Not just one. So if you look at the sum pool of all the cards, that's a lot. There's a lot that have to be picked up. Anyways, I'll leave it there. I don't want to go into controversy. I want to talk about your hobby and what you do well. But I have to tell you, thank you. This has been a very inspiring conversation. It's not where I was expecting to go, but nor were questions about this. So thank you for that.
Yeah, this is I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time to talk because I usually don't get to talk to people like this. So I'm very appreciative.
For sure.
Of
No, you're welcome.
hobby.
It's been a very good forum for tonight's.
Yes, and we've had a lot of good participation in the chat room, which you don't normally do. So,
actually, questions are back over to you, Mead. Actually,
yeah, I just saw that. So, this is kind of a good segue because it leads to what we were talking. It was a good path from where we were. So, are you a supporter of a local LCS or online purchasing? If it is the LCS, which is the one that you like to go to the most, and why?
Yeah, I have. We have a pretty good presence here in Washington State. So the one I go to the majority of the time is DJ Sports Cards. They're close to me. They're like a 15-minute drive. I've been going there for like 8-9 years.
And if somebody wanted to go to DJ's, Tony, what is the address?
I don't know the exact address. I know it's in Duval Avenue, Northeast.
There you go.
If you Google DJ Sports Cards Renton, and he has a website that is very popular because he puts up his latest arrivals and singles for sale, and that's where I get a lot of my good deals. So very humble, passionate card owner. He's owned it since like 1985, 90. So one of my favorites to go to. He's just a really nice guy, nice shop. I met a good mix of everything. Another shop I go to is Collectors Corner Northwest, which is a Collectors Corner NW on Twitter and IG. They're in the Bellevue area, which is like a really like high end, like where Microsoft is and stuff area, right in downtown. So he's a really good space there, and he does a lot of like newer, modern, lot of high end. The owner Johnny is an incredible guy, knows a ton about the hobby. He travels to like all the shows, very fair. So and that's a newer shop. It's open about 1.5 2 years now. And third shop I recommend is Nate's. Big Nate's Trading Cards.
I've heard of that shop.
Nate
I've heard of that.
PC. I owned one of his cards here.
Oh,
the White Lily. That's him right there. He is actually an MMA fighter. He does jiu-jitsu and everything like that. He has a full-time career and he runs an LCS. So this guy does everything. So
no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, he has a full-time schedule, but he has a great shop he opened 2 years ago, just following his dreams and opening up a shop in Gig Harbor. So if you live close, for me, it's like an 1.5-hour drive with a toll. That's $7. So I don't like that.
Oh God, here we go.
I asked him to subsidize it, but he wouldn't. But anyways, I'm just joking. But it's a long drive, but I try to make it up there. He just opened up a new shop there, which is nice, and he has a trade night coming up in a couple weeks. So I'm hoping I can try to get up there. It's just the drive is really bad for me. I don't like driving too much, but if he was closer, I'd be there every day. But great guy, one of the nicest guys you'll meet in the hobby. He has a lot of good product. Great with like kids and stuff like that. So those are the three that are around me that I recommend. There's more, and I know there's a lot of other good shops, but those are the three that I recommend in my area.
Cool. So there's, first of all, before I go, there's more questions in here. So are there any KG Junior crossover collection with the Mariners for Tony? I don't think you collect any KG, do you?
Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yeah.
I do have some. I have any right here. I have.
Just leave it on him, Kent.
Right here is one of my favorite Cano cards. I don't think I've ever showed this one before. This is from. These are hard to find, but this is from the Topps flagship. Finding any patch autos in flagship is incredibly rare in a flagship product. So this one was a really special card for me. It's from 2015 when he became a Mariner. This is a dual patch of Griffey and Robinson Cano. So
Nice.
I bought it for the Cano, but also for the Griffey.
Nice.
So this is one of my favorite cards. I really like that. I have a dual patch of a dual auto of Ichiro and Griffey, but it's in my safe, so I don't.
Oh, no worries.
Take that out. There's another card. I don't know where I put all my stuff. Oh, I don't know if you're gonna talk about this later, but this is the one that I pack pulled. Was this a fun one?
That'll lead into Amit's next question.
Yeah, so that's a cool Griffey. I have a couple of other Griffey autos, nothing like crazy, but as everyone knows, he has literally like the best auto in the hobby. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Very legible.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So, so he obviously takes it seriously when he autographs everything. He takes his time, and I think that's super respectable to see that.
For sure. Well, that leads into my next question. So, what do you think about Topps teaming up with the Seattle Children's Hospital to make affordable sets of local stars, Seattle sports legends, where you can pull an autograph from one of them, which you just showed?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite sets I've ever seen. It was from 2 Christmases ago, and it was pretty popular around here. So I bought up a ton of boxes.
Did you?
It was semi-popular, like for some of the hobby people were here buying them out, but it wasn't like crazy where people were buying them like crazy. So I bought them like crazy. I used to go to every drugstore. It's from Bartell, which is a local drugstore, and every drugstore I went to see if they had any, they had like 10 or 20 out, and they just wouldn't sell. Like they would sell a couple here. I'm like, can I have 5? They're like, okay. Can I have, like, I didn't want to be the guy who just clears the shelf.
Yeah.
But you'll hear later, I kind of did, so you might look down on me. But anyways, so I sent a bunch to PSA. So here's a Mitch Haniger auto, Apollo Ono, who won the gold medal in the short track speed skating, and he's from Federal Way, I believe. Joel McHale, who's from Seattle. He started his comedy career in Seattle, even though he's like a Hollywood star now. So that was cool. Detlef Shrimp, who was part of that team. Yeah, you know him. Sir Mix-a-Lot, famous rapper.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
So I have a bunch of autos of that, and I actually, as I was saying earlier, it got to the point where they wouldn't sell them anymore. They couldn't sell any, so I asked very nicely. I'm not one of those guys who would go on the videos where they're stealing cards or buying cases and running out the door. So I'll be very clear, but I did obtain at the end of it when they had a lot. I asked the manager if it was okay, but they weren't selling out. So I got an extra case of it on top of it. So I just bought it, and I have a whole case of it on top of that. I haven't opened yet. Do you want to open one?
Go for it.
Want to open one? Let's open one. Let's open. Here's this.
Okay, let's do this. Let's
see if we can find anything. The one auto that I haven't got yet that I want is the Russell Wilson.
Okay, let's see. Let's see you get Russell Wilson tonight. Let's do it.
I doubt it, but...
So wait. You pulled the one. I think it's Russell Wilson's wife.
I haven't pulled Ciara's either.
I haven't pulled Ciara's either.
No,
oh, okay.
Hers is pretty hard to pull too. So she's one of the short prints. They also have like a lot of the Seattle patients. There's a couple, I think 4 kids who actually signed it. That's pretty cool. Like who are from the Seattle Children's Hospital who actually have their own signed cards. So you can get that. So you get the full base set out of each box, and then you get one auto. So,
if I could do a drum roll, I would, but I can't.
Here it is. Cool little pack. The thing is, they didn't do this last year, unfortunately. I was hoping they would do this again, but I don't know why. Maybe because of pandemic stuff. But they only did this in 2020. They didn't do it in 2021. This is what I get. I think it's the second to last card. No, it's going to be the one after this. Let's see.
Ta-da!
Who's that?
Alicia Clark.
Alicia Clark.
With the nice inscription. Spread the love.
Spread love.
She inscribed it.
That's a good one.
You have that one yet?
I actually haven't pulled that one before.
This is cool, folks. We weren't expecting to do this. This is really cool.
We're not twisting your arms. So if you want to do another one, that's up to you.
Do another one.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get Russell Wilson. I feel Russell Wilson.
I seriously doubt I will because he's so hard to pull from what I've heard. But
I think you're gonna get Russell Wilson because you pay it forward. So let's see.
We'll see.
Hey, you never know. You can pull another Ken Griffey Jr.
That's true. All right, so let's do this again. I think it's the second to last.
Yeah.
Kyle Seager.
Yeah, Seager. Yeah.
Not bad. Recently retired. I think I have one of his. No, I'm not sure. I don't think I have his actually.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, so I would have graded it if I got.
So wait. So you didn't have Alicia Clark and you didn't have Kyle Seeger either. So you got two that you didn't have before.
Let's find it. Let's do
Going
it.
for three now.
All right, let's go for it.
Let's do the whole case. I'm just telling you, we don't have
I
to
don't
do
know
a
what
whole
I'm
case.
doing right now, but yeah, until I get one that I actually had before. Now that I know it's the second to last one.
Come on, Russell. The three P's. The three P's.
All right, let's see. Detlef.
Oh, it's Detlef.
I already have him. Okay, let's get the top layer. We'll do one more.
Okay.
All right.
Then we'll go on. I know
we don't want to make you burn through the whole case
one
tonight.
more. Let's do one more. I was honestly not planning on doing this, but who cares? It's not fun.
No, this is cool, man. This is cool.
All right, fourth one. Last one.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see who we look
Come
to
on,
again.
Russell.
Oh,
it's like the kid.
Oh, it's Caleb.
It's Caleb.
Oh, I thought it was him at one point, but that's still pretty cool.
It's not bad. No, it's a fun break. Like I said, it's really hard to pull a Russell or CR. Oh, Macklemore is actually extremely hard to get too. There's some autos that are just really hard to pull, but it's fun. It's all for charity. It goes, towards Seattle Children's Hospital, so it's all for a good cause. So, yeah, I had fun getting those cards a couple years ago.
Find a way to tag the Seattle Children's Hospital if we can with this video.
Yeah, we try to get some. We try to ask them if they were going to do it again, but I didn't get a response.
Yeah. Okay, just let me. So George has sent Lenny Wilkins through the mail and got one of those from his own stash. That's really cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he has a really good autograph too.
Yeah, he does. And Dennis loves the autograph. He's an autograph guy. He loves Griffey. He's one of the best.
Okay.
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you the next question here. So sorry, one second.
Before we get that, George also said that Tony didn't leave any for the kids.
Hey, the proceeds went to the kids, George.
Hey, I've been to Walmart once to go get some cards, and I saw a guy fill an entire shopping cart with everything that was on the shelf. Everything.
Yeah, I've seen that too, unfortunately.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? Forget it. So one of the things that sorry, go ahead. Nope. Okay. One of the things that you said was you like to search dollar boxes more often than you always come away with nice finds. So what is it about dollar boxes you love so much and keeps you coming back to them?
Oh, because they're cheap, right? They're cheap. They're fun. They're fun to look through, and yeah, it's kind of like the pureness of the hobby. It was like the dollar boxes, like when we first started, like that's kind of where we all kind of started. And again, looking for cool designs. It's fun too when you find that card. Like sometimes I went to a dollar box once that had like 20 Darius Bazleys that were like 10 cents each. And to them they don't care. To anyone else they don't care. But to me it's like, yes. Like I was like so happy, and it was so fun to like bring them home and penny sleeve them, and like no one else cares. I don't care. It was fun to me. Like finding those what they call Easter eggs or something.
Yeah,
like
sure.
It doesn't have to be monetary. You can just can be PC Easter eggs. Like, oh, I really haven't liked this card. I don't have this one. And or when because we're like we're in a community, I like to find cards for my friends too. If I can find little cards as fillers to give them as gifts, that's cool too. When you can find cool little cards, because you don't have to spend huge amounts of money, and they usually appreciate those.
Awesome. Kent, the rest of the questions for you, and I apologize to the crowd, but now I have to go to the bathroom. So
all right, we'll see you in a few, but I'll carry on. So Tony, one of the things you mentioned is a special thanks to your wife for putting up with this old man who never really grew up. So how supportive has she been about your hobby, and does she realize the amount of money and effort you put into collecting?
Yeah, she approves of it, thankfully. She knows how much I put into it. Sometimes I'm not too forthcoming on some of the bigger ones, but she finds out.
I think there's quite a few of us who are in that boat.
Yeah, so it's but she understands the market. She's seen just like my parents have. She's seen how the market's blown up and how much my cards are worth now, and so she's supportive of it. And she knows that I guess, somewhat smart enough to know how to control myself. And like I said, I slowed down a lot buying the bigger stuff because I already have most of the big stuff for my PC. So
Right.
I feel like fortunate of that I feel like nothing's ever 100% established, but I feel like I got everything. I'm happy if I couldn't get another card today, I'd be more than happy and satisfied with what I have. So she's happy with that. And I'm obviously, so I guess I'm very one-dimensional, as a lot of us hobbyists are. So she knows
Sure.
exactly what to get me for Christmas, my birthday.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard, right?
Just throw a couple of blaster boxes
Yeah.
of anything. I'm going to be happy. I'll love it. So it's very easy to shop for sometimes people like us, right? It's just buy some boxes of cards, and that's all you
And
need to
we'll,
do.
we'll
It's
be
much
happier.
harder for her, but yeah.
It's true. It'd be funny how much a pack of cards. You can buy me like a nice watch or a pack of cards. Just give me the cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the same. When people
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I don't want to get you. I'll just get you a gift card." I'm like, "No, give me a box. Give me a pack of cards, whatever."
Exactly.
So Mike touched upon this earlier, so I'm going to ask you the question. So you've always been one to give back to the card collecting community, whether it be card giveaways or care packages. Why is that important to you, Tony?
Because I'm really big on, just genuine community, and I elaborate on the genuineness of it because not to rag on anyone or cause controversy,
No.
but I see too much where I see, this is all my opinion, but I see a lot of giving and care packages given for maybe not the wrong reasons, but the intentions may be not fully selfless. I feel like you see people where I feel like if the primary reason, your number one reason to do a giveaway or number one reason you're giving a care package is to get what's the word? What's the young kids word today? Clout. Is that they want to get an ego boost. Then that's their primary reason of it. They have good intentions and they want to give stuff out, but the number one reason is that. I think it becomes obvious with some people. I won't say names, obviously, but it's some people I can see that it's really obvious that it's for the wrong intentions. I try to do it at least thoughtfully, where I'm doing it to help grow the community, not my following. I don't care about my following. If I get people, that's great if they're part of the community. One note is I actually blocked hundreds of people on my Twitter. I know that sounds really mean, but I did that on purpose. Was when I was doing these giveaways for a long time, so many people were following, unfollowing, playing games with me that I keep saying the same names, that I just started blocking people so they would stop following, so they would stop going into my giveaways, because I'm getting a lot of like prize hound people. So
okay.
In that route, I accidentally probably blocked a lot of hobbyists who just don't like me, which that's fine. You don't have to like me. So I apologize if you think I blocked you because of that. I'm sorry. But so it's not about that. I'm just trying to build a community of that. And what I've been doing recently is private care packages, where I just send people packages. I never announce it. I just send it, and they usually send me thank yous and stuff like that on DM, so no one sees them.
But those are the best. Those are the best. Surprise mail days are the best.
It is, and sometimes they share them on social media. And I'm not saying I'm like some saint, like I don't care. Of course, I'm a human. Of course, it makes me feel good if they share it on. But I'm not, we all do. So I'm not gonna say I'm not. But when they send me a DM or something like that and say, "Hey, I got it, cool. I'm cool. That's all I need." That's not the intent. It's just to share the community and have them do the same thing for someone else. And that's the reason why I do that, like genuinely. And I know it sounds super cheesy, but I really do that for that reason. So, because it just feels good to help each other out. And I have a couple of friends who do that to me too. I try not to give out my address on purpose. I usually put a funny little return address so they can't send me anything back. So I just put like Tony Earth. That's what I usually do. So it's like, try to find me. I'm on Earth. But there's a couple of people who do know my address, so unfortunately they send me stuff. But I'm still super appreciative. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But like, here's Mike McKenna's in the room. If he's still here, if he doesn't sleep, he sent me this card right here, which is a beautiful gold minted Andrew Benetendi Transcendent out of 10 rookie card.
Is that
This is
Stadium
one
Gold?
gift he sent me. It's one of my favorite cards. He sent me that as a gift.
Wow.
So, and he also sent me a Panini one, Darius Bazley. It's one of my favorite cards. I have it proudly displayed. He sent me one of those too. When I actually tried to buy it from someone and he wouldn't sell it to me because he said he sold it to someone else when I thought I grabbed it first, and I was really upset. So I was like, I claimed this card, and it was Mike who bought it. He sent it to me. He's a jerk. But no, I'm saying I told you, he's like one of the nicest guys I ever met. So a lot of that I pull from a lot of my good friends who have the same state of mind. So it's not like just me doing it. There's tons of people out there who doing good for each other, and we build this nice genuine community about just people and not just like money and cards and stuff.
Yes,
Which is
it's definitely about the community for sure. 100%.
Yeah. So no, that's the reason why I do that. It's a fun thing that I think more of us should do.
And I agree with you. And that actually, I'm really glad that you talked about that. It's kind of talks about the genuineness of the hobby, and that's what you're all about. So we appreciate that. So I want to thank you, just for doing that. I do find it funny that you put Tony Earth, how you can reverse engineer where your address is, but that's really cool. And Mike, wherever you are, that's really sweet of you to do, and you guys should keep on doing it. And Kent and I do that to each other sometimes. Kent's gifted me some high value cards, which I don't know why. But
I don't know why either.
And the problem is I like baseball, but he doesn't like hockey, so it's hard for me to reciprocate. So I have to find other ways of doing it.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Yeah.
So it kind of leads me to my next question, Tony. So as part of your giveaways last year, you partnered with Golden Auctions. How did that come about, and what was that like?
Yeah, they reached out to see if we can just collaborate on a giveaway, because I was in the process of doing a couple of giveaways, and they saw them because I work hard on not hard, but I work on trying to make nice displays on my giveaway photos, or if you see my scans on my cards, I work hard to make them as clean and nice as possible. So they like my presentation of everything. They're like, hey, you want to mock up a nice giveaway thing, and we'll do it together. So.
Oh, so they reached out to you? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they said, yeah, just make a video. And I made a quick video saying, hey, we're doing a giveaway. We gave away one of my Zions, Prism Zions. And that was fun. Just to give something back to the hobby and stuff. And it was cool to work with Golden on that. So that was awesome. A unique experience.
Okay, so we're down to our last two questions before we call it a night here. So the second last question is, if you could recommend any three prospects, and doesn't matter which sport, who would they be? And could you give us somebody or a couple of players that you would think that, in your eyes, you're kind of focusing on, without giving too much away?
So yeah, like I said before, I'm not really a prospect guy, so don't take my advice, because I only do it for and I'm a Mariners fan, and we actually have the biggest prospect farm league right now. We're at the stage of where we're going to actually hopefully make the playoffs next year. We are favorite to make the playoffs. So obviously our two young stars right now, that it's no surprise to any Mariners fan or baseball fan, is Jared Kalenic and Julio Rodriguez. So those are two big guys that I like. I have a couple of Kalenic Tops Now autos that I got. I can't find them, but I have two of them. I have a couple of refractors, Bowman First and stuff like that. Not a big stash, just a couple of cards, just because I know he's likely going to be a star for Seattle. So not looking into getting to any more PCs huge right now, but I just got a couple just to have them. Julio, I actually have none of his cards. His cards, his hype is insane. I don't even think I can get one of his cards right now.
Yeah, his was already pre-hyped before he even got to the Mariners.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just getting bigger now. So it's I might find a nice Bowman's First or something someday, but I'm not going to buy anything huge for him. Just to have a couple of small cards, just to say I have it and help me root him on. Other than baseball, another one that I'll deviate from non-traditional sports is F1.
Here we go, F1. Tanya, I don't know if you're
either say yay or when you say that, but I actually became a big fan of F1 when the Tops Now series came out. I started learning more about it, started look at the drivers, and I quickly became fans of card number 1, which is the Pierre Gasly. This is the first ever Topps card made, and I like him. I wouldn't say he's technically a PC, but I love that picture. I think it's an awesome picture of him celebrating his first F1 win. It's the very first F1 card, so it is pretty iconic. It's not like that expensive. It's like a $200 card, PSA 10. But when I saw that, I really enjoyed it. So I actually bought a ton of them on the Topps Now site. So I bought like 200 of them. I graded like 70 or 80 of them. So I have like 60 PSA 10s of this. So
wow, really?
Yeah, I have them all. So I think I have like half the pop report.
Damn, dude.
Well, we can check.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We've been checking all night, haven't we? It's probably grown by now, though. But
oh well, you know what?
I have a ton of these and a ton of them raw because and so I actually made sure I got the first 3, which are like the most iconic of the set. So number 2 is the Ferrari card, which is actually really good value. And this is the one that everyone loves, is the Lewis Hamilton. They consider this the rookie card. So I have like 10 of these.
I don't know who that guy is, Tanya.
Yeah, I don't know. Tanya, one of our past guests might know who that is.
Yeah, I got like 10 of these PSA 10. So this is a pretty high value card. Like it's surprisingly high. So
yes, it is. That particular card is.
But I like having the first 3 just because it's kind of iconic because of the first 3 ever Topps cards. So I graded all these.
Yeah, for sure.
I graded all these myself. But prospect wise, I still like Gasly. So it got his like I have the full refractor set. I have every the variation. This is the auto version.
Yeah.
But nice. I got the variations of the AlphaTauri logos, the cars. I have the whole refractor set. So I think it looks beautiful. I love the refractors. And I got the gold chrome as well. So this is a really cool 1 out of 50. So I'm big on Gasly. I'm hoping he does big things. I think he might join Red Bull in 2023 possibly and get a better card. But he's shown lots of potential this year. So I'm a fan of his. So that's kind of my small PC of Gasly, my little stash that I'm keeping. And it helps me root him on, knowing that of his cards. It's more fun to check out the races.
Awesome.
All right. Actually, I'm going to throw this last question over to Meet.
Okay. Before we go there, I'm going to quickly say, so George is waiting for cheap shipping again. Been 2 years with express shipping from Korea. I think we were all waiting for cheap shipping. Chris, Hockey Guy 2006, has finally caught our live show. Thank you, buddy. Sanderson would like to, or Eric would like you to send him some nice cards.
Yeah, but Eric, I don't collect hockey. That's the other guy.
Sorry, buddy. And Julio could be a superstar. I just learned that today. Actually, I don't really follow baseball. I did hear Kalenic.
Absolutely.
So Bowman's Best seems to be a good place for Kalenic and Julio. I'll trust your guidance on that one. So we're at the hour, and oh my God, we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, we could keep going early, but
so for all of you that stuck around this long, I want to really thank you all. This was a great show. The great doubleheader, end of our doubleheader this week. So we get to end with our last question. And just before we do our last question, if there's anyone in the crowd that you think of a guest that Kent and I might like to talk to, we learned of 3 tonight. Please reach out, let us know. We're always looking for interesting people. And if you like our content, please subscribe and like our content. So enough about that. Let's get into the last question. So, Tony, what inspires you?
Just the people. Like I said, like what I was talking about before, is like when you're talking about like care packages and just the genuine people in the hobby. It's what kept me around when I had my lulls in the hobby. When like you go through a lot of this hobby drama and all this stuff, you kind of take a step back, talk to the people you trust, and understand that a lot of that is TMZ stuff. And I understand it's entertaining. I read and watch it too. Trust me, I do. But it's not. It doesn't summarize what the majority, in my opinion, are here for. And most of us aren't there with, $1 million suitcases of cards, making transactions with cool music and stuff like that. We're here just to enjoy the cards and enjoy the people. And the cards are becoming like almost an afterthought sometimes with a lot of the people I've met. It's definitely helped get through tough times sometimes when you're going
Mhm.
through in life. So I think that's what I've learned when I first started the hobby. I didn't know about social media or anything like that. I just kind of sat in my room and played with my cards by myself, and it was fun to a certain extent. So this extension of like I'm talking to you guys today. Like, how cool is that? Like,
Yeah.
two Canadian collectors. Like, I never thought I'd be doing this, So, and it's, I had a ton of fun, like just talking about like all different aspects. So stuff like that inspires me. Just the people. Like, there's so many good people in this hobby. Just you just got to stick with that. Stick with those people, those genuine people, and these are cards. I love them, but I'm not attached to them. And I think that's a thing. Maybe 5 years ago, if you asked me, I would have told you that they were my life, and I think about them 24/7, and I can't live without them. Like, I still love them, but it's maybe it's because I'm just getting older that it's like get more into perspective mode where it's like I enjoy them, but it's
It's a vehicle to an experience to branch out beyond where you are right now, right? So, for example,
absolutely, that's a great way of saying that. You should
yeah,
quote that or something.
maybe we'll quote it. So yeah, it's definitely a vehicle for
Absolutely.
relationships. So, yeah,
So I love that aspect, and that's, I think, treating it and I think keeping it as a hobby strictly. And I know people do a mix of both, and that's great. Everyone can do it their own way, but I think that's what helped me keep my perspective of it being fun and not just seeing dollar signs everywhere. Which you can't ignore it, but you can't let that be the primary reason. For me, from Pacific did it might ruin it for me. I
for
think.
sure, for sure. Um,
Very well
again,
said.
go ahead, Kent.
No, I was just saying, very well said.
Yeah, for sure. Very well stated. I'm really glad that we got a chance to meet you and talk tonight, and we'll be talking again. I'm almost going to guarantee that. I want to thank everyone for checking out both our shows tonight. Please, Tony, if they want to follow you on Twitter, how would they do that? What's your handle?
Tony's Hobby Vault. So
Okay.
yeah.
So please follow Tony at Tony's Hobby Vault. There's KBO Collection. Follow him as well. And a few other people. Mike McKenna, I'm sure you're on Twitter as well. I don't know what
Yeah,
your handle is.
Mike_McKenna.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
So follow all these people, to follow genuine people. Please enjoy the show, have fun, and enjoy our show, not our show. I meant enjoy their Twitter handles and their social media posts. What I meant to say. Hang out there, Tony, and we're just going to say good night to everyone, and then just hang out for a second, and we'll just close off at the end. Okay?
Sure. Thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.